Peace, 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 peace. It is your sister Roo, MaWu Lisa Temple, beautiful upstate New York, Hudson Valley. And it is my brother Nick in the room with you. We are unread our book review. We are back. I know we've been missing. Well, you've been sneaking little stuff in there if you was paying attention. We had an interview like in the middle of the week. So listen, we here for you and we still reading books. We still loving it and we still bringing them to you. As I said, welcome. This is another Saturn day with us. Happens to be the day after Halloween. We had a great time last night, doing some intuition games and, with our little homemade Halloween costumes. Well, I think I was the only one with my
yours. Yeah.
I was the one. But nonetheless, we had a great time and we talked about some great things then, and we'll be talking about some great things today. Welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time joining us, please like, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure you always know what we got going on over here. Always come over to MaWu Lisa Temple. It's MaWuLiza 4610 on our YouTube and on our IG. It is at MaWu Lisa Temple 1. So today, like I said, we are here back unread. We haven't been here, so our books are surprise me books this week. You know what I'm saying? Because we did have that one scheduled in the middle of the week. What a great interview in the middle of the week. You put some of that clip up for us. The sister was talking about, being our authentic selves. Love that. So that was a lot of fun. And if you guys didn't see that interview, please get back over there on the page and check it out. All right. So today, Nick, first of all, what is going on with this weather? That's number one. And number two, how are you? How's your week been, bro?
Well, what's going on with this weather? Well, how much time we got? Because we could talk about the weather and our locales. You being in the Hudson Valley and me being in Jersey. We could talk about how nippy it's been and how it doesn't feel like. Of course, it's supposed to get cooler for the fall season, but it feels like it's cooler than the normal cool that it is during the fall season. So we could talk about that. I don't know what's going on with that, why I feel so cool, or if I'm just more sensitive to it, but you feeling it too. But then we got we have Melissa going on, so positive vibes and energy going out to our brothers and sisters in Jamaica and Haiti. In those islands. And, when I say how much time we got, that's a whole other conversation right there about what's going on with that. That's a whole nother conversation about natural versus man-made disasters. But anyway, yeah, whole nother conversation. Woo! But yes, I'm still on high from last night. I'm feeling amazing from last night's divination after dark. We had a fun time, real fun time, and I was totally caught off guard by your homemade costume. While you was talking about it just now, I was thinking about like, wow, that thing must have been heavy, but I forgot you got them robust locks, on your head. So I know I probably couldn't get away with that one. After a few minutes, I would have been like, all right, my head's starting to hurt.
For those who weren't there, you missed out on a lot of fun. For those who were there, they will let you know that I was a pothead for Halloween. So I had a nice little Teflon pot on my head, little non-stick John, T-foul pan on my head, and it was lovely. It was a lot of fun.
It was. I'm not sure if you saw the Instagram reel.
No, I haven't.
There's an Instagram reel. It looks like they're in like a senior citizen place or a home or something like that, and they were having a Halloween party. And one of the elders had a pie head, but all the costumes, they were like little silly kind of dad and mom joke costumes. I love it. So I gotta send you that. It was hilarious.
Yes, I love it. It's when the realm is open like this, it gives us that opportunity, like I said, to walk amongst the stars, walk amongst the universe, talk to our old self, our present self, our future self, slide around, see some things, enjoy some things. So this is a great time. I love this time of year because the veil is so thin and the walk is so beautiful right about now. Sky is looking fantastic and amazing,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
doing great things.
did you see
It's
the sky
doing,
last
the
night?
stars are doing dances for us right now. So it's a wonderful time to be alive for
It is.
sure.
It
And we
is.
had some fun last night.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? After we got done, you just mentioned the sky. I looked at the sky last night after we got done, and whoo, it was beautiful. I
Beautiful.
didn't really see that many stars, but just how clear and how thin the sky looked, and the clouds also. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful night. It really was. And it was so much energy coming through. Sometimes I talk about having problems going to rest. I had not one problem last night. I was like on cloud 9,000, and I just had such a good time, and I rested so well. So thank you for everybody that came out and made last night Divination After Dark so much fun. 2025, another one in the books for MaWu Lisa Temple. We love doing things like that here. We can't wait till we could do more of our in-person events.
Mhm.
Before COVID, we had quite a few going on, and it's been a slow start, after that, trying to get people together, even though people have been traveling. It's like really getting people to focus in on things like this, on more spiritual type, transformational type things. We have yet to put some of those things together. The sisters, though, let me just say, shout out to all the sisters, you know what I'm saying, that did the 11/11 events for the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Sister Gemini, and all the sisters, they really did an amazing job. And I'm not sure what they're doing this year, but I'm sure it's going to be great. So don't miss that 11/11 portal. We got the 11/1 today.
Mhm.
So, just loving the energy, loving the energy. And I can't wait to see what book you got, see if it's lined up with this energy for this season. So let's talk
Indeed.
about it now.
All right, all right. Yeah, it just might be. It just might be in alignment. And like I was telling you right before we went live, the subject matter of my book is it's broad enough to cover a plethora of areas. So it just might be. But we're about to find out, right?
And listen, age before beauty. I'm gonna let you go.
All right, all right. So last night, one of the things we talked about last night, and one of the activities and games we did that was fun was the intuition practice and activity. So my book isn't about intuition. I brought the intuition book already in the previous episode of UnRead, but I'm bringing up intuition because I use my intuition to select my offering for this episode.
Okay.
In past episodes, I've used my intuition in past episodes, but I've also used my knowledge of the time of the year and connecting my offering to a particular theme or season or holy day. But for this one, we've been going for a while, and I had no idea what book I was going to bring mentally. So I just said, just pick out the first book that just comes to mind. That doesn't have anything to do with any particular theme, topic, season. So that's what I did, and my offering brought me to an unread, a book that's been on my shelf for almost a year now. I haven't read it yet, but it's somewhere in the queue. It's a very practical book regarding a skill set that we all use and we all need, and something that I can certainly work to grow and improve. There's always room for improvement. So my offering for this episode 35 of UnRead Book Review is drum roll. That's a drum roll, by the way. If you were wondering. my offering is The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication by John C. Maxwell.
Woo!
Apply them and make the most of your message.
Wow.
Yes, the 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. Okay. And the story behind this book, I have read previous John C. Maxwell books. So just to give a little background on him before I talk about how I got this book and what this book is about. John C. Maxwell is he's one of the foremost leaders when it comes to leadership. I said leaders. Yeah, leadership. So he writes, he's written several books on leadership development and given, lots of speeches and speaking engagements dealing with leadership development. He's also a motivational speaker. So I've read some of his other books. One book called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, or Great Leaders Ask Good Questions, something like that. The good and the great. I don't know which one came first. So that one. Also, the other one. What was the other one called? I'm looking at my bookshelf now to see if I can see it from here. Yeah, that one, and I believe it's two other ones that I read. One which was gifted to me, and this one which was gifted to me as well. So I want to give a shout out to my brother, one of my business partners, Dale, for gifting me this book during the holidays last year, almost a year ago. So that's how I got it. And communication, that is the skill that we all use regardless of what we're doing, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, whether it's with family, friends, spouses, in our careers, our jobs. We all use communication. Now, what about communication is this book dealing with? So let's read the description here. And like I said, this is an unread, so I have not read this book yet. I don't even think I really perused it or flipped through the pages either, now that I think about it. So this is this is almost like I'm looking at this book for the first time on this episode here.
All right.
So let's see. Yeah, we'll start with inside the jacket. So at the top, in bold and all caps, it says, "Everyone has a message." Everyone has a message. Yours may be a message for the moment or the message of a lifetime. What do you want to say? Do you want to communicate the vision for your company, speak on behalf of your favorite charity, wow your classmates with a great presentation, introduce a product, deliver a quarterly report without putting people to sleep, make your living by becoming a professional speaker, or simply share your heart with members of a small group? Regardless of the kind of message, you undoubtedly want to communicate it well. You want to be able to make the most of your message. Will you? John C. Maxwell can help you become a better communicator. And that's important no matter what you do or what you desire to accomplish. According to the Harvard Business Review, the number one criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is an ability to communicate effectively. Most people avoid public communication because they feel inadequate. They fear failing, they don't want to look bad, and they don't want to let their audience down. The good news is that communication can be learned. Anyone can become a better communicator. Maxwell started out as an average communicator. Yes, he had talent, but he failed a lot. Every time he spoke, he learned something new and sharpened his skills until he became one of the top speakers in the country. Today, he has spoken more than 13,000 times to millions of people, and he is in demand all over the world. Now he has taken everything he's learned over a long and successful career and distilled it into 16 laws of communication that anyone can learn and apply to their speaking. Whether you want to speak to people, or 2,000, these laws can help you improve your communication skills. By applying them, you can make the most of your message. And flipping over to the back of the book, it says, never be afraid to speak to a group again. And it says, it's been said that public speaking is the number one fear of most people, with death being second. This means, said comedian Jerry Seinfeld, if you have to be at a funeral, you would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. How can you overcome fear or ineffectiveness as a speaker? Learn the laws of communication. John C. Maxwell has been a public speaker and motivational teacher for more than 50 years. He is one of only 8 people on the planet who have been awarded Toastmasters Golden Gavel and been inducted into the National Speakers Association Hall of Fame. The 16 undeniable laws of communication, apply them and make the most of your message. He shares everything he's learned from a lifetime of communication. Learn how to speak from conviction. Prepare your content and yourself before let me run that back. Prepare your content and yourself for speaking. Find and use your personal and communication strengths. Focus on your audience and connect. Tell better stories. Read the room and create energy and anticipation. Add value to people. Inspire people to take action. Everyone has a message to share, whether you want to improve your ability to inspire your employees, speak at PTA meetings, report to a board of directors, teach students, deliver a sermon, address a small group, speak from a stage, or communicate in an arena full of people. This book can help you. Learn from one of the best communicators in the world and start making the most of your message today. So that's what it says on the back cover. And you can see why this book is so relevant and useful for me. I'm on this platform right now speaking to you. This book, if this book really works, and it's coming from someone who's an expert at public speaking, then if I read this book and apply the concepts, I should be coming to you all on a higher level, communicating with you all and delivering my messages on a higher level. It mentions teacher. I'm a classroom teacher. This book can help me in this area, like I said, if it does what it's supposed to do, like it says, because I haven't read this book yet, but I'm getting ready to tell you what's on the inside of the book. But you see how relevant this book is. This book was gifted to me from someone who's also a speaker, a public speaker who's done plenty of public speaking engagements. Talking on stages, delivering seminars and workshops, working with clients, doing podcasts, all of it. And, we do a podcast as well, plugging Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and Nick Westbrooks every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So he gifted this book with the understanding that we do a lot of speaking to clients, speaking to audiences, and this book will help us enhance our communication. And in turn, one of the benefits of that is, enhancing business. So let's get into what's on the inside of this book. Okay, so let's go to the table of contents and see how the table of contents is broken down. So we have, of course, acknowledgments, but we have an introduction. Everyone has a message. Now, this book is broken up into some sections here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. So 5 sections this book is broken up into, and then there are a few chapters within each section. So the first section is called Who Says It? And I'll just go through the chapters here so you can get a get a pretty good idea of what's in here. So I can get a pretty good idea of what's in here, and then you can decide if this book is something that you might be interested in purchasing and reading. But chapter 1 is the law of credibility. Your most effective message is the one you live. And that's interesting. We were just talking about that on Tuesday night with Smart Video Girl. She said, the quote is, before she could publish her book, she had to live her book. That's what her coach told her. And that is speaking to chapter 1, the law of credibility. Chapter 2, or law number 2, the law of observation. Good communicators learn from great communicators. Chapter 3, the law of conviction. The stronger you believe it, the more people feel it. Chapter 4, the law of preparation. You cannot deliver what you have not developed. Law number 5 is the law of collaboration. Some of your best thinking will be done with others. And that reminds me of another book that I brought to UnRead maybe last year or the year before, Never Eat Alone, which was about building relationships and the importance of collaboration, which is also relevant to this season and this month cosmically. As the numbers guy, I know that November is a master number 11 or number 2 universal month, and the number 2 deals with relationships and partnerships and teamwork and working with others and getting with like-minded individuals. Law number 6 is the law of content. When you have something worth saying, people start listening. Law number 7, and now we're getting into the third section of the book, how it is said. And law number 7 is the law of connecting. Communicators know it's all about others. Chapter 8, the law of leverage. Good communicators lead with their strengths and use them often. Number 9, the law of anticipation. When you can't wait to say it, they can't wait to hear it. 10, the law of simplicity. Communicators take something complicated and make it simple. And that's what I do as a classroom teacher. And that's what I did in college. When I was majoring in journalism, concentrating in broadcast journalism, I had to take very, very complex concepts and stories and boil them down to, a 30-second summarization or, 15-second summary, and then or write an article. So I can, so I'm seeing where this can be useful both in what I'm doing now and what I've done over the course of my life. We have the law of visual expression. Show and tell is better than just tell. Number 12, the law of storytelling. People see their own lives and stories. Then we get into the next section, when it is said. And that brings us to law number 13, which is the law of the thermostat. Communicators read the room and change the temperature.
Whew, yes.
And number 14, the law of the change up. Sameness is the death of communication. And then the last 2 chapters are covered in the why it is said section, with law number 15 being the law of adding value. People may forget what you say, but they never forget how you make them feel. And the last law number 16, which is results, the law of results. The greatest success in communication is action. So those are the 16 laws. To run through them real quick again is the law of credibility, observation, conviction, preparation, collaboration, content, connecting, leverage, anticipation, simplicity, visual expression, storytelling, thermostat, the change up, adding value and results. And after those chapters, we have a conclusion. We have some information, more information about the author, who he is and what he does. And we have some footnotes. And we also have his programs in the back here too. You know, you can become a leadership. No. You can become leadership development programs. So you have leadership development programs in the back of the book. So those are just his advertisements. But altogether, the book is a little over about 300 pages. There's a lot of footnotes back here. So a big chunk of those pages are footnotes. So it's well sourced. A lot of footnotes back here. A lot of footnotes. And I can show you all the author too. I'll show you the color pictures. So there's the author. There's John C. Maxwell. Yep, and that's his bio. And this book was published. Let's get the year. Let's get the publication date. This was published in 2023. So it's still a fairly new book. Came out 2 years ago. And I mentioned his previous books, some of which I have. But just to let you know how prolific he is as an author, and I already mentioned his a couple of his accolades, but it says he sold more than 35 million books in 50 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. So quite obviously, not surprisingly, he's a #1 New York Times best-selling author, speaker, coach, leader. He's the founder of Maxwell Leadership Development Organization. I was looking to see how many books he had published, but I don't think it's in this bio. But he's been recognized as the #1 leader in business by the American Management Association, the world's most influential leadership expert by both Business Insider and Inc. magazine. He's the recipient of Horatio Alger Award and the Mother Teresa Prize for Global Peace and Leadership on the Luminary Leadership Network. And it says Maxwell and the work of the Maxwell Leadership continue to influence individuals and organizations worldwide, from Fortune 500 CEOs and national leaders to entrepreneurs and the leaders of tomorrow. And so that's my offering. The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication by John C. Maxwell.
Wow. I like that. Thank you so much for bringing that. What a timely book, man. Where to begin? Great offering for anyone who's watching, and especially for all those would-be podcasters and educators, or just people wanting to share a really good story. I can imagine that this book would be effective in helping them to become more prolific speakers. I really do admire his work. I think I first came across his work when I was in college, and Toastmasters is something that everyone wanted to be invited to. You had to be invited back in the day. Wow. You get invited to a Toastmaster event. You come in, you learn how to listen more effectively, how to pitch more effectively. It's quite an organization to be a part of. It's and people pursue it their whole life. Toastmasters, a lot of people get in Toastmasters and is there for the rest of their life, loving it, because who can communicate too well? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? So exactly. I love it. And it's always something to tweak. It's always something to make better. So, better is not to indicate that anything is bad. It's just, more effective, being able to get your point across. Like you said, when you were in university, I'm sure that was something that you strove to do, is take those complex stories and make them digestible for the public. So I admire that type of work. So you said your one of your companions gifted you that book. So is that something that is that a book that you've covered in your previous circles, or is that something he just thought would be helpful to help you with the work that you guys were doing?
Oh yeah, he definitely saw it as a book that would be helpful for the work that we're doing. We coach clients with finances. We do speaking engagements, we do podcasting. So we're always speaking and talking to folks. So it's definitely something's useful. He got it for the whole team. So everybody got a copy of this.
Nice.
And we. I'm not sure if we read it together yet because I got my own reading list of things going
Yeah,
on. But we usually
yeah.
we usually try to read books together, as a group. So it's definitely something that's useful for for us personally and as a company too, a company in the group.
Right.
But he's very familiar with John C. Maxwell. I think he's even met him at one point.
That's
And one
nice.
yeah, and one of his favorite books that he mentions a lot from John C. Maxwell is actually, I think, is actually where the title of this book came from. So this is the 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication, but I think the other book with a similar title is called maybe it's the Irrefutable Laws. It's the irrefutable or the undeniable laws of leadership. That's the
Ah,
book.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
because leadership is his first. Yeah, got
Mhm.
you.
Yep. So that's the book that my business partner mentions a lot when it comes to leadership, and as a matter of fact, he always encourages people to have three type of guides. Everyone should have according to DJ the Money Coach, everybody should have a spiritual guide, a business guide, and a leadership guide, whether that's indirect or direct. So John C. Maxwell is his leadership guide in an indirect manner, and Mr. Maxwell guides him through his books. So he is a John C. Maxwell reader, and he shared that with us. As a matter of fact, when I first met him, when I was a client of his, he recommended another John C. Maxwell book, not the one about asking questions, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But that's how I got a hold of the other John C. Maxwell book, was based on a recommendation from this companion.
Right. Wow. Wow. Well, I definitely heard some chapters that spoke directly to me. I always look for better ways to communicate, because I know that in our communities, a lot of times we're not really taught how to effectively communicate. Is especially when we in our fields, or when we're passionate about something, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the way we communicate things can either draw people in or push people away. So as a health and wellness educator, sometimes I talk about really serious health related topics, even going into hospice topics. And being able to effectively communicate is something that has been able to help me effectively do my part in supporting humanity. So yeah, that's a wonderful offering, and I would love to add that one to my collection, and read that one, because I can definitely see where that would be of benefit, and I can see definitely some places where I could pull some lessons out to apply to my everyday work, even this work that we do here on these platforms. So I'm excited. What a wonderful offering. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you
So,
got? What you got for us? What you got?
well, we always talk about how do our books go together, and
Oh, boy. Oh, here
and
we
this
go.
time, this time I think it's kind of just self-evident. I don't. I mean,
You just got to drop the title, and we're gonna be like, ah.
and it's a practical book. It's a uh it's a reread. I'm bringing it back. The reason I'm bringing it back is because I need it right now.
Okay.
I need it right now, and so since I need it right now, I was like, what better time to bring it up off the shelf and share it with the unread family, because it's definitely something that's necessary for life and for effective communication. And that is breathing.
Breathe. Woo! The breathing box.
Yes.
Is that 4 weeks? 4 weeks of healthy
Healthy breathing. 4 weeks to healthy breathing.
Woo! Okay.
So as you see, book is still in it's an excellent
I'm about to say what kind of shape is that? That look like a box instead of a book.
It is a box. I'm about to blow your mind right here.
Oh boy, here we go.
This book unboxing experience is by Gay Hendricks. He's Ph.D. And I got this book back when all this woo-woo stuff that we do that's so popular now was very unpopular still. And there was only a couple of places you could order these type of things from, and Sounds True was one of them. And so I got this in 2005. Woo. 2005.
Back in the day.
Hey, listen, don't make me feel old, Nick. Stop.
well, listen, we both gonna feel old.
So got this back in 2005. And the reason I got it back then is because I had just recently had some health issues and I was having problems with breathing properly. And I found out during that time from a pulmonary specialist that most people don't breathe properly, that we take very shallow breaths. We don't take enough breaths, or sometimes we take too many breaths. So I thought that was really interesting that there was an actual technique and right and wrong way to breathe, depending on what it is you want to do. So I found this breathing box exercise set, and it is a box, and it opens. Ooh. And you have a book here.
Okay.
You have a book, the little booklet, as you see, excellent condition. Mm-hmm. Excellent condition. And it has a DVD for all of you people in a excellent condition DVD.
Nice.
Right? And it has a CD.
Ooh, what's that?
It has a CD. And it has some breathing cards. Now, that's the thing that's missing from my little presentation today are the cards. And I'm thinking it's because I had somebody that really liked them, and I guess they felt like, they needed to hold on to them for me until eternity, I guess. But nonetheless, it's okay because everything that's in those cards are on that DVD and on that CD and in this great little book. So recently, I've been having some sinus stuff going on, and then with the weather changing back and forth and some other health stuff, I found myself that I was breathing really shallow. And then when I wasn't breathing shallow, it seemed like I was breathing into my tummy all the time. So my stomach always felt bloated. Didn't feel like the air was going in my lungs. It felt like it was going in my tummy. So I was like, well, what is this? So uncomfortable. From somebody who used to try to sing back in the day, I know that breathing, breathing down in your belly and all that good stuff like that can be good for some things, but for some things it's, what I'm saying, it's rather detrimental in terms of getting that proper breath. So I said, you know what, we in yoga and everything, we talk about these fire breaths and these different staccato breaths that we take in parts of 4 and 8 and 10. And so I figured, let me go back and pull out something that had a technique to it that was easy. It wasn't that long. It had a reset that you could do each and every day. So, like I said, it's broken into 4 weeks. And first week, they talk about the foundations of breathing. So basically, it just talks about the central breathing problem, societal and environmental causes for breathing problems, i.e. your environment, man-made and natural, and otherwise. Then it talks about fight or flight breathing. And that's this breathing that this panic type breathing that many people under high stress, even children under high stress, suffer with. And just realizing that that this breathing issue is a lot deeper than just somebody that's taking an unhealthy breath. So it talks about what a healthy breath is and how to obtain one. And it talks about using this every day to as a reset button in your daily life. And one of the things I really liked about this book was, one, that it was really simple, but two, that it had questions. So I'm a big question girl, and assignments. So it had questions and assignments at the end, and this is what you should be doing all week. So it'll guide you all week to watch a track on the DVD, to spend no less than 10 minutes every day practicing healthy breathing techniques, and then also doing repetitions throughout the week, and then questions for reflection. And this is where, for me, as a health and wellness educator that deals a lot in the metaphysical world and the esoteric world and the alternative quote unquote medicine world, this is where, for me, now the application of this looks different for me than it did 20 years ago. It's because now I understand what you were talking about, that asking great questions and how that can get you different answers. Because now when I look at these questions for reflection, I don't answer them on the superficial level in which I first saw them 20 something years ago. I understand that there's a much deeper, more spiritual, more emotional, more psychological approach to breathing than we really believe, even though he was telling us that in this very short part of the fight or flight, breath. We now can understand it at a different level because we have developed to a different level. So it says here, throughout the day, this is one of the things for reflection. Throughout the day, become conscious of your breathing pattern in different situations. Are you breathing shallow? Are you breathing deeply? How quickly are you breathing? Is your chest or your belly expanding with each breath? And do an evaluation of your physical and mental state before practicing the reset button. Are you feeling anxious, lethargic, distracted? After you've completed a reset, reevaluate and ask yourself these questions again. And that's just week 1. Nothing hard. You don't have to have any apparatuses. You don't need to pull out any special music. You just take time and notice, am I breathing deep? Am I breathing fast? Am I breathing slow? Do I feel uptight? I know for me, I spend a lot of time like this. I spend a lot of time like this. I have to actively put my shoulders down every day. Every single day. I really, it's something that I've been challenged with for most of my life. And the other thing that I've noticed recently about myself is that I've been holding my breath. That is something that I used to do, like maybe, I don't know, like about 15, 16 years ago. I was at this stage where I caught myself holding my breath. And I'm like, what am I holding my breath for? And after speaking with one of the elders and doing a round of healing with the elder, I was told I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's what I was doing. I was waiting for something to happen. I was like, what's gonna happen now? What's gonna happen now? Which means that I had been under an immense amount of stress. And I can say that in these past couple of weeks, I have been under a lot of stress. So the fact that I'm having issues with my breathing is not a surprise to me. So that's why I'm sharing this again. So that was week 1. Week 2, live stream breathing. And I laugh at this because back in 2005, right, there was nothing really called live streaming.
Right.
Right. So the fact that this is called live streaming, I was like, oh, look at that. You know,
Right, yeah.
But this is live stream breathing, and is basically talking about developing a practice every day where you dedicate it now to this breathing, and it gives you assignments again with that. Week 3 is breathing as a means of clarifying and healing your emotions. A lot of times as the day fluctuates, you know, and our emotions rise and fall, our breathing does the same thing. It gets constricted or it gets really loose, and you know, we're hyperventilating. So these are things that, you know, this chapter here, this week here, focuses on how you respond with your breathing to your emotions and paying attention to that. And the last week are advanced live stream breathing techniques. And basically, this talks about tuning and toning the diaphragm, where I was talking about the singing aspect of it, that muscle we have in here, the diaphragm that helps with our breathing. And then it has an exercise called the cosmic jiggle, which, you know, laughing is a form of medicine. I tell people that all the time. And, you know, a good laugh can help to reset your breathing a lot of times because your mind is free. You're just laughing. You're just relaxing. You know, the air is coming in and out. Sometimes you laugh till you cry, and then you laugh until you lose breath. But when it comes back natural. And that's one of the things that this points out, is that natural breathing is part of your birthright. It's who you are. It's part of your makeup. But the events in our lives, the way we respond to them, and our environments and all these different things can affect our breathing and have us not being able to really use the breath as a means of healing, cleaning, and living our everyday life. So the breathing box, like I said, has a DVD, CD, and a book, and it had some little cards. And the cards, all they basically were doing was just, you know, showing you a person sitting upright, you know, holding their belly, taking a breath in, taking a breath out. Also the same thing with the chest, holding the chest, taking a breath in, taking a breath out, feeling what it feels like to breathe into your lungs versus breathing into your belly. You know, a lot of people don't realize with the very advanced techniques, you can move your breath throughout your body. You can move your breath everywhere. You move it down to your toe if you know how. You know, martial artists everywhere will let you know that moving the chi around your body is something that's obtained by taking time sitting. And it starts with breathing. It starts with not only breathing, but understanding the breath, understanding how you breathe naturally, and being able to get that back into a rhythm that's healthy for you. Because what people don't realize is that the brain depends so much on proper oxygen. So by being able to breathe, you're able to think more clearly, you're able to act more effectively, you're definitely able to speak more effectively because your thoughts are clear. And not only that, you're able to function better because your body is getting the oxygen that it needs. So the
Mm-hmm.
breathing box, Gay Hendricks, may not seem like a big offering, but trust me, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, book with assignments in it. I don't even know where this box would be available at right now, if it's still sold online. I didn't take a look before we came on, but definitely, like I said, I'm sure there's probably an all video version of it. So breathing box, get that. If you want some of those questions at the end of those 3-4 weeks, let me know and I can get it to you, because it's just a page of exercises. So that is my offering, and it goes with communication, because we need breath to communicate, and
Yeah,
breathing is a form of communication.
it is.
You know what I mean? It helps us get into the upper rungs of our consciousness. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely, and the deeper rungs too, helps
Right,
us move up and down that scale. So I love it. I love it.
right. And those are the two vehicles, the two methods in which I've utilized, the breath to access those deeper and higher levels of consciousness, and also to regulate my physical health, my emotional health, and things of that nature. And that form of breathing, well, not that form of breathing, particularly in that box, in the breathing box, but just deliberate, intentional, manipulative breathing was something that I was introduced to back in maybe 2017 or 2018, when I was joining a different school. When I joined a new school, we worked with an organization that taught students, educators, and community members mindfulness and breath work. And that's when I was officially introduced to using the breath to enhance, our health. And they didn't teach us about the metaphysical concepts behind it, but as we were doing the practice within the school, I was experiencing that, personally for myself. So I used the breath as a method to go deeper into my meditation, and to still the mind. But anyway, needless to say, I agree that this is a very useful, powerful, and a great offering here. Something that,
Absolutely.
yeah, something that the people can apply and enjoy the holistic benefits of it. The breathing box, and very simple and accessible too. No complicated concepts. No, it's not a long program either, or a long book that you have to go through. They get right to the point. They give you techniques that you can implement right away. You don't even have to finish the book yet. You can, while you're reading the book, you can start implementing and using those techniques, and start enjoying the benefits of using them. So yeah, I'm in full agreement that this is a great, significant offering, that we all should look into. Even if you don't specifically get that box, if that box is still available, you should do, highly recommended that you do some research into breathing, and breathing with intention, and reflecting on your own relationship with the breath, and whether or not you're breathing deeply, or if you're breathing in the shallow manner, or if your shoulders are up. Because I'm just like you, Rule. I gotta remind myself to put my shoulders down. I did it when you mentioned it. I'm like, but you know what? The way our seating is designed too contributes to that as well. My desk chair at work that one has the adjustable armrests that go up and down. But even depending on the design of the chair and the armrest, you'll just naturally put your shoulders up because your arms are resting on the, and then you forget to drop them back down after you put your arms on the armrest. So even the way our seating is designed in this country is very interesting.
It is, and like for me, I'm sitting on a kitchen chair. I'm just sitting on a regular wooden kitchen chair, but it's one of the most uncomfortable chairs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's uncomfortable. I have a bouncy ball, that I sit on sometimes, but you've seen me, Nick. When I'm on that ball, I'm going to naturally bounce. So then I'll be sitting here and I'll be doing like this. Sitting on these beds with our feet hanging off the sides, sitting on the floor that or that's concrete, or people don't realize your flooring can pull from your energy. You know what I mean? And so your breathing, even in that, is different. The way you breathe when you standing barefoot in the grass or barefoot in wood versus how you stand on concrete or carpet is completely different. It's completely different. And I love what you mentioned about this particular offering is you don't have to go through the whole book to start to experience it right away. Because after learning that initial reset in the first week of just taking a moment, blowing all the air out, leaving it out for a couple of seconds, and then intentionally breathing in for a certain amount of seconds, or intentionally breathe it out. This is something that once you know how to do that, you start to regulate yourself. You can slow your heartbeat down. You can speed your heart rate up. I was watching, I love competition shows. Love competition shows. Yeah. And my daughter, during this like trial that we've been going through, we've been, traveling a little bit. And so, we've been watching TV. And so she was like, you should watch the show, The Challenge or whatever. You like shows or whatever. And I'm watching this show, and a lot of what they were doing dealt with breath work because of the simple fact they were dealing with a lot of fear. So one of the challenges were they were up at the top of this scaffold with a heart monitor on. And the way you win is to calm yourself down so your heart rate will be between a certain amount. And once both partners had their heart rate low enough, then you're the winner. Well, obviously, if you're at the top of this scaffold over water and you're holding on and the wind is blowing, your heart rate is like, so your breathing is important. And the one young man who was able to really do well was the one who closed his eyes and he started taking these deep breaths. And they show you his heart monitor go from like 150 something, dropping down to like 100. Finally, he got it to like 89. Wow. And I said, what a brave guy. Because if I was up over top of that water like that, it probably would have been 300.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this just shows how breathing really does and can affect every part of your life. It does affect every part of your body. It affects every part of your life. And it's something that we take for granted because we've been doing it since the day we came out our mama's womb. Now, people with breathing issues like asthma or respiratory type things, people with COPD and things like that, they recognize, oh, the breath is all the things. Ask an asthmatic about getting that perfect breath in, or getting that deep breath into the lungs, and they'll let you know it is the difference between life and death. So while we have something simple like this, it really can begin to enhance our lives and really make a difference. Really make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you had this book for a while, this box for a while, and you said you Well, actually, why don't you give us some insight into your journey with this, like as far as how you've benefited from the time you got in 2005 to now when you bringing it back out and putting it
Yeah.
back into use. So what were some of the benefits you experienced?
I had been teaching yoga for about so I got this in 2005. I had been teaching yoga from about 2001. I was working for a couple of gyms at the time, and my mom got sick. And when my mom got sick, I had already been dealing with some health issues, but I kind of had them under, I'm not going to say under rest, but they was under control,
Mhm.
as far as they were going to be at that time. But when my mom got sick, obviously it put some extra stress on me. I was homeschooling at the time. I was working, I was taking care of my mom. It was a lot going on. And I found myself holding my breath a lot. And I didn't realize I was doing it until I'd be sitting and I'd be like, and I'd take these big deep breaths, like, dang, I've been holding my breath and I realized it. And it started to become something natural. Like I would sit down and I realized I'm holding my breath. I would walk, and while I'm walking, I'm holding my breath. And I went to go see one of the elders, and they talked to me about my breathing, and my fear and anxiety, and how it was hindering my breath, because basically I was waiting for another shoe to drop. It was I was in this state of, well, what's going to happen next? Well, what's going to happen next? And what's going to happen next? So I was bracing basically all the time. So I was holding my breath. Like, think about it. If you about to slam into something, or something's about to happen, you hold your breath, and you let the impact of whatever hits you, and then you take a breath. Well, in my particular case, life was the issue, so I'm just holding my damn breath the whole time, like all day, every day. And it really became a problem. I felt sleepy, tired. I always felt like my belly was bloated. I felt like my arms were really tired all the time when I woke up. And that was because I had been like this. And when I finally went to rest, but as soon as I woke up, I was like this again. So when they told me I needed to really work on some breathing stuff, and they gave me some exercises to work on, but then I came across this box. And in the magazine, and like I said, Sounds True magazine was a thing back then for people who were looking for divination tools or healing tools or books on yoga, stuff like that. So I saw this box, and I said, well, let me give it a try. And I was one of those people who got it and got like the first 2 weeks, and I was feeling better, and I was like, hey, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm very honest about my study techniques, y'all. I'll let you know. I will put something down in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But that was one of those things. I started feeling better, like most people do. I started feeling better, and I put it down. And then I realized I was right back to the nonsense in about 3 or 4 months. So I picked it back up again, and I did all 4 weeks. I really started to understand the importance of regulating my breath, and how that affected not only my health, but my sleep, my appetite, my attitude, my awareness. I felt like less foggy in the brain. So definitely, when I started to feel this anxiety and stress that I've been under for the last month or so, and I felt myself holding my breath, and I'm like, wow, I know this feeling. I remember this, and we talked about memory last night when we were talking about intuition. And so if I couldn't figure out what was going on, and my intuition said, we've done this before. Let's remember what this is. And so that is how I ended up bringing that box today for us, because a lot of times we share what it is we need. That's what I tell people, because you never know who else may need it too. And something as simple as breathing, a healthy breath, is something that we can all do and it'll benefit us all. So this is one for everybody, for all ages. You know, like I said, you're dealing with things like anxiety, you know, which most of us are in these days and times. We really not taking really good breaths. And again, air quality is another thing, you know, like you said about the weather. We could talk about that one for days, you know, why the air quality is what it is right now. But what we can do is we could take little techniques like this and, you know, use that reset button every day to get us back on at least a healthy track of breathing. And you know what? Put it like this: if you're fortunate, you'll be breathing for a long time, so you'll be able to practice every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you think about it, do it. You know, if you don't, guess what? You're fortunate enough to have a really smart body that does it for you anyway. So I tell you like this: if we had to be in control of our breaths, most of us would be dead already. You know what I mean? If we had to be in control of any part of our body, most of us would be dead already, because we just don't pay attention like that.
Exactly.
You know, we just don't pay. We take things like that for granted. We take our heartbeat for granted. We take our breath for granted. We take being able to see for granted. We do all these things. You know, our feelings, our nerves, being able to feel. We take that for granted. It's people who can't feel. You know, imagine. You know, so breathing. We all need it. I recommend it highly.
Yes. Highly recommend breathing.
Highly recommend breathing.
Yes. And you're breathing wrong. You need to start breathing better.
Breathe better.
Learn how to breathe better.
Breathe better. Breathe better.
Yes. Let's take a breath right now.
Put them shoulders down.
Yeah, straighten up that spine.
And no, laugh a little. Let it loose. Yeah. That's what it is. Let it loose.
Yeah. Yeah. See if they were up in the Hudson Valley and they attended your workshop, they would have known that. They would have learned that.
They would have had some
Letting
fun.
it loose.
They would have had some fun, because we do believe in laugh therapy around this jar, if nothing else. Love to have a good time. But thank you for allowing me to share that experience, Nick, because it really did make a difference. You know, when you're not breathing, you know, healthy breaths, your mind can be so cloudy, and it's hard to make really good decisions, you know, when you're like that. And under the stress that many of us are with work, family, you know, all of these different things, when it comes to our self-refinement and the things that help ourselves, we tend to put ourselves last. And this is something that we have to do. Breathing is something you have to do, so you should use it to your benefit.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, amazing offering. Thank you for sharing that with me, with us, with the collective.
Yes. I love my collective.
Yes.
So breathing box, and that book of communication. Maxwell book of communication. Yes, I'm here for it. Yes.
15 undeniable laws. Yeah, go ahead and take a screenshot of that.
Yes,
we got them both up right there. So y'all pause the video or take a screenshot real quick. We got them up there for y'all, so you got the visual. Of course, the links will be in the description, but this is what they look like.
Absolutely. And I definitely want that one, Nick. You know, I love that. That's our good old Gemini season book right there. Communication. Yes. Love that. Love that. Mercury time.
That's
right. Mercury book. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Well, I mean, I thank everybody for being here back with us again. You know, we take these little breaks, y'all, but believe me, when we are breaking, we are doing things not only for ourselves, but to uplift all of humanity, because that's what we are dedicated to. And we do it in all different all different kind of platforms, in all different kind of ways. So be sure to follow us and follow some of the things that we're doing. Get involved, you know, take some action, have some fun, live some life, you know, help uplift somebody. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that to make you even feel better. You know what I'm saying, Nick? Don't it make you feel good to make people feel good? I know, right?
Absolutely.
Because I definitely had fun last night making people laugh. We had a great time.
Oh,
and we had a great time. So I thank you for being here with us again on UnRead with Nick and Roo Book Review on Saturn Day. We are here every 2 weeks, God willing. And if we are not, we make sure we leave some nuggets around for you guys to play with while we are not here. We brought you 2 great books today. We brought you our love and laughter today. Nick, I'm excited. I'm still on high from yesterday. So I'm just really enjoying this energy today. I'm gonna do some nice deep breathing, maybe get back in the pothead mode. And just really enjoy the rest of this day and be grateful for each and every one of you joining us and really making it easy for us to be able to share with you what we love, which are books of all kinds. So that's it for me, Nick. So let's take them on out of there. Tell them what you want to tell them, Nick. What we got going on?
I mean, I think you said it all. I mean, if you haven't seen, if you didn't watch Tuesday's special UnRead Pornoia Starseed podcast collaboration episode, where's my book at? Oh yeah, I got it right next to me. We interviewed Smart Video Girl, who is the author of Do the Work, Keep the Faith. Amazing conversation. So if you did not watch that, go back to the previous video, the previous episode, and check that out. And I'm excited to be back with you all. We'll be back in 2 weeks, unless we got something random popping up. but Lord willing, we'll be back in 2 weeks, which would be November 15th. November 15th.
November 15th, yes.
Yes. So take care, everyone, and set your clocks back. That's about to happen. Don't forget to set your clocks back.
Oh, did they stop doing that yet?
Yeah, no, they still ain't stopped it yet.
Oh, that's a good one.
But but it was great hanging out with you all. Thank you for hanging out with us and having fun with us and talking books with us. And we can't wait to see you all next time, on the next episode of UnRead.
Yes, sir. Peace, everybody.
Peace.